Hi boys! Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. I'm Navy Dad, this is Rusted Bolts Garage, and today the dreaded OBS door roller pin and drilling a stupid hole out, which I screwed up, so you don't have to. So I guess that's good. Okay, so yeah, I had to break all these videos up into 3 different videos because it got like 38 minutes long or some stupid thing like that. Anyway, so today I'm going to show you how to correctly replace the door roller pin on your OBS truck. You do not shave the material off the pin. It's not designed to do that. You will weaken it. And the whole thing just didn't seem, you know, I've seen several videos where people are shaving off that shoulder on there. It's there for a purpose. And it's not to be shaved off. I actually called a buddy of mine who used to manage a body shop, and I asked him about it. He just started laughing. He goes, yeah, why would you remove material on it? You're just going to weaken. I'm like, yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense. He goes, exactly. The original pins were tapered, they were machine installed, and they fit into there perfectly, and boom, you're done. Over a period of time, as you know, those pins wear out. They bend like mine did, and they wear out, but they also wallow out that hole just ever so slightly. They're basically held in by the top press part. Well, the new pin is slightly larger to be able to accommodate for that being wallowed out. So that means it's going to sit up there a lot tighter, it's not going to come out. So what do? You actually cone the hole slightly so that that tapered part of the top of the shoulder, if you've looked at the pin, will just start sliding in there, and then as you hammer it up, it will press itself in there and it's not coming out. So we're going to get to that shortly. Then we're going to drill out the dreaded freaking hole. Now, when I talk about that hole, I'm talking specifically about 1988 through 1994 Chevy work trucks and Cheyennes that did not have any power accessories. No power mirrors, no power door locks, no power windows. The cowl on the door, right between the hinges where that little rubber boot goes, is not drilled out through 94. Now in 95 and later it is drilled out because when they redesigned the dash to accommodate the upcoming airbags and they moved the speaker from the dash itself to the door, they're all cut out whether you have a work truck or not. So you don't have to worry about that. So again, we're talking about 88 to 94 and it's a pain in the ass, and I screwed it up. You know the old adage, measure twice, cut once? Yeah, I overmeasured. I don't know how I did it, but I freaking overmeasured a 1/4 inch too much. But I'm going to give you the exact measurements on how to do that. Again, before you go any further, in the description below is a Google Doc link. Click on that. It's going to have your part numbers and everything for this particular video, and also I'll put the picture in as we do the actual build, but also the measurements. So let's go ahead and get started on those two things because they're kind of like dreaded. And let's have some fun. Next up is getting the pin off, and this is hardened steel and it is hard to drill. It's at an angle, you risk damaging your fender even if you have a long drill bit. You can't really get an angle grinder in there unless you have an extended one with a small blade. That would probably work. So I made a mess of the other side trying to do all this stuff, but that is some pretty hard stuff. So 2 options, I think we're going to go with option number 1. So this is option number 1. Hopefully this will make mincemeat out of that thing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Now we should be able to use our BFH. There we go. A little bit easier than some of the other methods. But now we know how to do it, and so do you. And I guess I'll file that up and throw a little paint on it. Okay. Here's your original pin. Right? And it's tapered. Of course, you see they're bent. They all do that. And that's how it installs from the factory.
Now, the aftermarket pin, and this of course is from Dorman, it has a shoulder on it. Well, that's kind of weird. Why would you do that? And because it won't go directly in. So a lot of guys have been doing is shaving off part of the shoulder. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would the manufacturer make a pin like this to make you have to shave it off? It didn't make any sense. So I contacted a friend of mine who used to manage a body shop, and he just laughed. And he said, yeah, I know, people shave it off. Why would you do that? You weaken the pin when you do that. And I said, exactly. I said, what do you do? How do you do it? He said, you just have to take a drill at the bottom of the hole and just slightly cone it out, just ever so slightly, just a little bit to get that pass there. Because over time, and you saw how loose this was after I cut the top off, over time it wallows out. Just the sheer movement back and forth on the pin wallows that out a little bit. This is a little bit larger, and you have to get it coned just to start it, to get it in there so it won't become loose. And I was like, well, hell, that makes sense. Here, let's get doing this. But oh, also, you had noticed that this was a little frozen a minute ago. Stick it in the freezer for a couple hours. That always helps too. It helps fix old hard drives too. Okay, so here is our weapon of choice. And you'll notice that this is a step bit. It's a cone style step bit with just the cuts on the side. Yeah, it's from Harbor Freight. Oh, and there goes the compressor. Sorry. So, but it's going to be just fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go from the bottom right there, and we're just going to cone the edge just a little bit. And it does kind of get close to where I'm probably going to scratch my fresh paint, but oh well. Alright, that's all you got to do, just a little bit. Alright. Okay, remember, you don't have to drive this thing all the way in because the collar is pretty long, because it works on different types of hinges. So you want to just tap it in where you can get that clip that goes on top of that. Other than that, that sucker is going to be in there. There we are. Pretty easy, huh? A little bit better than trying to shave the damn thing off. I guess I better hit that again.
Okay, so this has all transpired over the last few weeks, right? Because you can see I have some white going on here. Alright, but I want to explain this to you because I screwed up, and hopefully you will learn from this and you won't make these mistakes. It's not a bad screw up, but I had to fix some things. So first of all, on these trucks you're going to see like a little dimple on the cowl. I don't know for sure. I've read some places that that dimple is actually there for the dealer to easily find the hole and drill that thing out if they want to put in, if there are any dealer installed options, because you could actually get an optional, and I'll see if I can find a picture of it, it's very bizarre, to turn the stock basic manual mirrors, the silver ones I'm talking about, the very base mirrors, into a power mirror. And there was actually a kit you could buy at the dealer. So I think that's what that hole, what those little divots are. And here's a picture. Okay, so the driver's side is correct, almost. Here's a picture from the inside of the cowl, and you can see that dimple. So it's not perfectly centered, though the hole inside the cowl is a lot larger, not a whole lot larger, but it's a lot larger than the actual hole needs to be to accept the rubber boot, because that's just 2 inches. So again, I don't know why they didn't center it, but they didn't. But if you drill the hole out there, at least on the driver's side on mine, it works. But here's where I screwed up. As I was drilling it, my hole saw broke and basically caused the hole to wallow out to almost 2¼ inches. Yeah, so here you go. The fucking... Back to Home Depot. Yeah, so, and this is how I fixed it. And disaster averted. Hopefully you won't have to do that, but it worked. Now, go over to the passenger side. This is a different situation. There's a dimple in the cowl, but it's like way off. It is so far off to the left that I couldn't use that. I didn't take a picture of that. I should have. I just stuck my camera up there and took a quick video. But yeah, it is way off. So I didn't drill that. So basically you measure from the bottom of the upper hinge down and 4 7/8 inches, almost 5 inches. You measure from the inside right here in this picture 1½ inches, and that will give you the about perfect placement for the passenger side. But I screwed that up too. You know the old adage, you know, measure twice, cut once? Yeah, well, I screwed up. I measured it down slightly over 5¼ inches. I really screwed that. I still can't figure out how I did that. I think I got offset by looking at the damn dimple or whatever, and I put the punch in the wrong place and screwed it up. But what I did is I just pounded out the inner hole and it still fit. So it worked out and well in the end. So hopefully you won't have to go through that crap. But if you do look at your truck and you've got those dimples, take your phone, shove it up inside there and see how offset those are. Again, the one on the driver's side, that picture I just showed you, that was workable and that did a good job, except for the wallowing. And then the passenger side, no, I had to wing it and I just screwed up the measurements. So anyway, it all worked out in the end. It works, so hopefully you won't have to go through that. So here we go. Okay, again, sorry about the wind here. It's pretty, storm's rolling in, but I'll show you this. There's 2 different size holes for the rubber coupler that goes into your door. Okay, so you've got, or whatever you call it, the rubber boot that goes inside your door. Okay, so this right here is the actual door side, and it is smaller. The hole is smaller. And then the actual cowl size, the hole is a little bit bigger. Why they did that? But anyway, this is 2 inches. And safety first, right? All right, let's drill some freaking holes. Okay, and as you can see, that's a little off. So I will fix my measurements, which is interesting because this side's different than the driver's side, measurement-wise. Huh. All right, well, we'll fix that. Well, nobody can ever accuse me of setting up a shop, right? Okay, so there we go. Well, you live and you learn, right? And now you have the information, so you will not drill the hole wrong. And when I say drill the hole wrong, you see that? It should have been up about 1/4 inch. Oh. But again, here you are. All right, now we'll hit it with a little primer and a little paint and clean it up so it doesn't rust. Okay, well, wasn't that fun? But at least you learned something. I did. I mean, it just didn't make sense on why you would take something that's designed to do something and then redesign it. It didn't make sense to me. So hopefully y'all won't have issues installing yours, and definitely if you take your door apart to replace anything, the pins, the latch, whatever, replace it all. Just because you're going to have problems down the road later, just replace it all. It doesn't cost very much, and it's not that difficult. So boys, you be safe out there. There's some beer in that refrigerator and I need it because it's really late in the day. So y'all take care, and next week the fun part, installing the Top Kick Kodiak 3500 HD door handles. That's right, they're cool and I love them. and where to find it. So boys, you be safe. Y'all have a good one. There's beer in that refrigerator. Of course there always is, so I gotta go.